And whenever you're ready, Eugene, you may begin.
Why do we have friends? Why do we need friends? I'm sure we all have asked ourselves these questions, or maybe not, once or twice in our life. We cannot really touch friendship, but through the Bible, which was inspired by God, we can see how God shows friendship to us. Before I even go to my Bible verse, it's good to know the background of the book Proverbs. Proverbs was written by King Solomon. King Solomon was the son of David. He wrote Proverbs to teach us how to live a good life before God. He wrote Proverbs in the 10th century, and during this time, during the time he was ruling, Israel was united, but later on Israel was separated into two kingdoms. But back to my main verse. He focuses on how we should rather go for help to our friends rather than our family. And Proverbs, my main verse is Proverbs 27:10. Do not forsake your friends or a friend of your family, and do not go to your relative's house when a disaster strikes you. Better a neighbor be nearby than a relative by far. You might ask how this relates to me. Well, I'm from a foreign country and I'm far away from home, so I rely on my friends who are around me. But Proverbs is not the only book referring to friends, but we have other books in the Bible. I have 3 books that talk about friendship. The first one, Hosea 8:10. Although they have sold themselves among the nation, I will now gather them together, and they will begin to waste away under the oppression of the mighty king. This talks about how they will turn away from us, but later on they will just come back to us because they will need our help, and they will also feel sorry for the situation they put us through. My second one, Job 2:11-13. When Job's 3 friends, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar, heard about all the troubles that he had come upon him, they set out for their homes and met together by agreeing to go and sympathize with him and comfort him. When they saw him from a distance, they could hardly recognize him. They began to weep aloud, and they tore their robes and spread dust on their heads. Then they sat on the ground with him for several days and several nights. No one said a word to him because they saw how great his suffering was. This shows how they were there for him when he needed them to be there, and they also took care of him by covering him with their robes that they cut off. My third one, Ecclesiastes 4:9-10. 2 are better than 1 because they have a good return for their works. If one falls down, his friend can help him up, but pity the man who falls and has no one to help them up. This shows that if you fall down, 2 people are better than having 1. This shows that if one of you falls down, the other one is there for you to pick them up. But if you don't have anyone to pick you up, you'll just continue falling down. We can connect all these verses in our daily activities or even in the Bible, like the story of David and Jonathan. Well, the story of David and Jonathan goes like this. Jonathan was the son of King Solomon, and Jonathan knew that he knew David was going to become king instead of him. But King Solomon didn't like that, and he wanted to kill David. So Jonathan decided to help David by hiding him, and when he hid him, he got away from his father, and later on, David becomes king, and he still gives thanks to Jonathan. And how does this relate to believers? Have faith in God's plan, like the way Jonathan had faith in God. And how does it connect to the non-believers? At times we might be lost, or we might be in danger. So you just have to have faith in your friends. And I'm going to show you a small clip.
Long ago in Bible times, there were two friends named David and Jonathan. Jonathan was the son of Saul, the bad king of Israel who turned away from God. David was a shepherd boy, chosen by God to become the new king of Israel. King Saul was jealous of David because God chose him and constantly tried to hurt him. King Saul even tried to get Jonathan to help him hurt David. "Please, my son, assist me in my plan."
You get it. David later on escapes and he becomes king. And God clearly shows us that we need friends. Even if you don't believe in God, you should believe in the good friendship. Friendship is not something you learn in school, but if you have learned the meaning, you haven't learned the meaning of friendship, you really haven't learned